We talked over and over about trying to get off to a good start. Uh, you know, when we talked the other day in our media session, we talked about trying to make some adjustments the second time you play a team, and I thought defensively Jimmy Witt was great on Santiago Vescovi. Obviously, Ethan Henderson's energy on the glass was phenomenal tonight, and Mason and Isaiah's ability to draw free throws attempted, and again that defending the 3-point line becomes so important for us, and we did another great job of taking away the 3-ball tonight. And I thought we played with great pace, 14-0 in fast break points, and then points off of turnovers. Although Tennessee didn't have a high volume of just 12 turnovers, we turned those into points, and I thought that was really a key to the game, is live ball turnovers as opposed to dead ball turnovers.
Okay. Mason Jones in the season he's having, another night like tonight, do you see this guy as a legit contender for SEC Player of the Year?
Yeah, I think he's just every night, there's such a burden on him to score. Obviously, with Isaiah coming back, it opens things up for both of them. When Mason's scoring like he is, it opens things up for Zay, and then just Isaiah being out on the floor opens things up for Mason. And, so, I think both those guys are having incredible years, and Mason's growth as a player has been really, really fun to be a part of and watch.
Hey, Eric, you guys, the first back-to-back SEC win since at Ole Miss and Vandy here, so like 6 weeks ago. And I know, obviously, Isaiah not had a lot to do with that. But how good is it to win back-to-back games again? And do you feel like you guys are sort of back on track now?
Yeah, I told the team in the locker room, to lose 5 games in a row, and to be shorthanded and to lose some of them the way we did, meaning a basket, a loose ball, a free throw. We were so close in several of those games. And look, they've competed every night. We had a bad game at Tennessee. And we had a bad stretch at Florida, but every team in the country, you can name every team in the country, has a bad game. So these guys compete, they play hard, they're believing. Look, we know the only thing that matters is getting on this plane to Athens and trying to figure out a way to win at Georgia. Nothing else matters, and that's all we can focus on, is just one game at a time, and that's what we'll continue to do.
What specifically do you think Jimmy did to limit Vescovi's? He didn't hit a 3-ball. He didn't have an assist tonight.
Did players already come in?
Yeah.
Who came in?
Ethan, Isaiah, and Mason.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the players told you, but we put together a game plan, watching film. We have not guarded a player like that at the collegiate level. We didn't do it at Nevada. Not going to go into a lot of detail because we could play him again. Overly proud that Jimmy was able to guard him and shade him the way that we wanted to, because it's not an easy thing to do for 40 minutes, and it was a calculated gamble, but we couldn't have guarded him any worse. And then we changed our pick and roll coverage up before the Missouri game, and we're playing pick and rolls differently now than we have, and that's a risky thing to do in the middle of the season with 4 or 5 games to go. And Ethan was awesome in our pick and roll coverage. Adriel did a good job in it, and we're becoming more well-rounded defensively in a lot of areas.
Desi, this time last year, moved into the starting lineup and started having some of his best games, especially shooting. Now coming off the bench for a couple of games, putting up some really efficient numbers while he's producing. Do you see this as his time of year now, again, in terms of helping your team?
Yeah, I think really, Kevin, only he can answer that, but certainly his confidence, we've seen his confidence grow offensively. He told us, just leave me off coming off the bench. And so it allows him to watch the game. And then, if you're a player and you're going to play 31 minutes, and he's basically sitting the first 3 minutes of each half, and then he's playing the whole game. So he's done a great job, had a great attitude. He knew that we were trying to figure out a way to get off to better starts, and he was a willing guy to accept, hey, I'm not going to let it affect my game coming off the bench. Do what you want to do, and I'll play hard and try to provide the team whatever I can, and he's certainly done that the last 2 games.
I guess Ethan was really your last scholarship guy off the bench for most of the year. Kind of what's made the difference in him? What'd you see to start playing him?
Yeah, I think practice. He's a young, developing player who didn't get much of an opportunity last year, which a lot of freshmen don't. And then same thing this year. But he started picking up our terminology. We've seen a more focused player. We've seen tremendous growth in him coming into the gym at off hours. I just think he's taken the game really, really serious of late. And like I said, when a player doesn't really say much in practice, you wonder how much, are they really grasping what we're doing, the rotations. And he's been one of our most talkative players over the last 2.5 weeks. And when he's verbalizing stuff, he lets us know, hey, I understand the whole picture of what we're doing. And, that's what you want from a young player. And certainly Ethan is a young player who tonight provided us incredible rebounding on both the offensive glass and the defensive glass.
Eric, you guys had this, I think, a 16-point lead in the first half, and they cut it down to 2. It's looking kind of dicey, and then I think Jones had a 3-point play, and then Desi and Isaiah hit 3. So and before you know it, you guys are up by double digits again. Kind of what happened during that stretch for you guys to regain, a big cushion?
I think the big thing, Bob, is just spurtability. I mean, when we have Isaiah and Mason, and then Desi starts shooting like he has of late, like we can go on spurts. And, like when they made the run and cut it in one of the timeouts, like our guys said, hey, they made their run, now we got to make, and that's right. I mean, that's a mature statement that usually a coach makes, but our guys understood, hey, they made their run, let's stop it. And I think this 3-ball just become like, we do one thing better than everybody in the country, and that's defend the 3. And that's something that's a neutralizer in games. We should be a really good 3-point offensive shooting team. And when you guard the 3-point line like we do, better than anyone in the country, it allows you to maybe give up some stuff in the paint and on the glass that we're going to do just based on the makeup of who we are.
Isaiah now 2 back-to-back games since returning of over 20, but seems like he's getting downhill as well as he did in that Ole Miss game before he got hurt, getting to the free throw line, getting some finishes. Are his legs fresh on top of being healthier now, or what do you see as the key to that?
Yeah, I mean, the pick and roll tonight, we either wanted Mason or Isaiah the last 12 minutes of the game to handle and pick and roll and put their 5-man in it and let them try to switch and then just try to get to the cup and both those guys. I mean, you talk about 15 free throws and 12 free throws. That's a lot of free throws attempted, especially with the team that's going to take some threes. And like all of our threes tonight, I didn't think we took any bad threes. I mean, we didn't take 5 or 6 that were just out of character. I mean, everything was in character, and then they mixed up dribble penetration. And we've done a pretty good job of getting to the free throw line, especially those 2 guys. And I think when Isaiah does that, it opens up his 3-point shot as well, because he's certainly a threat handling the ball.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks.